Hi, I am Mark Ingram. I am an apprentice butcher at Smiddy Farm Shop just outside of Stirling. I left school at 15 with very few qualifications and no real idea what I was going to do with my life. Kind of when I was in school, I saw a black hole. I didn't see a future. I didn't know if I was going to achieve anything. I didn't see all these bright stars. I acted up quite a lot in school. A big part, obviously, having dyslexia for me was it wasn't spoken about enough, and a lot of teachers didn't understand it. So I remember going into classrooms when I've kind of first went into high school, and I used to get a book given in front of me, and I couldn't read it. I had no idea what exactly I was going to do. I started panicking, and I felt so ashamed of myself for that because I can't do the basic. I can't do what most folk can do, and that's read and write. So I acted up. I was either A, put my hands up, say to a teacher, embarrass myself, or I can't read this book, I can't do this. Or step two, get myself out of the classroom. What I did, and I'd done it for over 2 years, just acting up because there wasn't enough support. And off the back of that, I was put into ILS, what was kind of brand new at the time in schools. And that kind of helped me a bit more in school. It kind of saved me because I know if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have been at my school. A part was when I did leave school, I left school at 15 with very few qualifications and no real idea what I was going to do with my life. A big part of what I used to feel like is I felt like I was going to be homeless. I know now it wasn't exactly the point where you were going to be in the streets, but that's how I felt. I had no understanding of what kind of life was going to be like, and I couldn't read, I couldn't write. So I was like, what am I going to do? I don't think I can get a job. I can't go to college, can't go to university. And that was so pushed upon in schools was you need to go to college, you need to go to university, you need to get degrees, and then you can go get a job and you get a big, and I knew that wasn't an option for me. Truthfully, I knew that wasn't. So I had this kind of realization, what am I really going to do with my life? And I decided enough was enough. I says, there's only one person who's going to make change, and that's me. I needed to do something. So I started thinking, what am I actually good at? And that was so hard trying to think, what am I actually good at? At school, I wasn't good at anything, couldn't read, couldn't write, couldn't do tests. And I remember started crying when I was younger. I used to go out my room, I used to cry because I didn't see a future. I saw a black hole. I'd seen no future for myself and didn't think I was good at anything. I loved cooking. I always had this sort of passion for cooking. So something in that line. And then I realised what would be a butcher. At first, it was a bit kind of, right, it's something different. I've never thought about it. But no, I went into it and started to get this imagination. I started seeing myself, a bit scared seeing myself with a big knife. But I got through it, and it was a difficult one because I didn't know how to go around about it. It was at that point when I was no longer a proper pupil in school. I was trying to get the support on how to do it. And I remember my mum, my dad, my parents were probably the biggest support pushing the school. So with the support of my mum and dad pushing the school, try and get something in about me getting a job in a butchering was when I finally sat down with the school and we were speaking about what can I actually go into doing. And at that point, I learned about apprenticeships and I was absolutely amazed by it. I never knew about apprenticeships when I was in school, but I feel like it's so great now. No one is like, isn't spoke about enough apprenticeships and what they can do. I mean, you're getting to learn a trade and get paid at the same time, what is the best thing ever for people like me as well. And they helped me write a CV and speak about kind of what would go through. And one thing that I don't normally speak about was it was quite hard for them because I remember getting told to hand my CV into shops and you need to have this confidence. But for me at 15, nobody was going to do that. I mean, 15-year-olds have hardly any confidence. They're shy, and if anything, they're going to act out with their friends. For me at 15, it was complete opposite. I was worried about my future. I didn't see a future, and I had goals I wanted to achieve, but I didn't think it was possible. The support I've had with in my job, my apprenticeship, has been absolutely amazing. Say it's been some of the best support I've ever had in my life, and one of the biggest supporters in actually my job has been my manager Fraser. He's really pushed me since day one. When I remember walking in, so shy, so nervous. Even in my interview at the time, it was actually Robbie, and Fraser was the supervisor. I remember being so nervous about going in, and I actually just remember thinking, I mean, I'm probably expecting a 50-year-old grumpy butcher. That's what I thought of the days. And I was wrong. I was meted by a young, friendly face. And I was amazed. I was like, okay, the whole thing that I've thought about trades and jobs have been the complete opposite. Remember going in, then getting the phone call on my 16th birthday, being told I've got the job was the most incredible feeling in the world. I remember then my first day, I was still nervous about saying I'm dyslexic. I still had this thought, is this that if I say this, am I going to get fired? I had this rushing through my head. So if I said this, I mean, am I going to lose my job? Are folk not going to be understanding? I remember the first person I actually spoke to about it was Fraser, then was the supervisor. He was the most understanding person I've ever met. It was so incredible knowing as that somebody was there supporting you. And since day one, since my very first time there, he's pushed me to be the absolute best I could possibly be. Even right now, he's still pushing me. He sees all these goals, he sees these hopes. He saw something what I couldn't, and he saw something that teachers didn't. And that was a future for me. And he's really pushed me. The apprenticeship has changed my life completely. I mean, first of all, it's given me a job, it's given me goals, it's given me hope, and it's given me a future. There's things in my personal life that have changed so much off of just the point of getting a job and getting an apprenticeship was passing my driving test, going into a theory, doing that, something I never thought would be possible. One of the biggest parts of my personal life was actually morbidly obese. I was 25 stone at one point, and I remember turning around and saying to myself, if I can achieve this, I'm sure I can achieve this. So I did, and I set out. I got a cheap little shed because I was so nervous of actually going into gyms and working out. I was felt so ashamed of myself at that point still. Started working out with minimal equipment, and in 1 year I lost 13 stone. And that was just off the back of confidence. Confidence which school never gave me, what apprenticeships did. And it's trying to show the younger generation is that it really, you don't have to go to college, you don't have to go to university. There's so more options out there. And it's trying to speak to the kids and even the teachers who are showing these kids is that there's so many other ways around education and trying to see more about dyslexia. I mean, if you told me 2 or 3 years ago, is that I'd be here doing all this and on the back of everything else I've ever done, I would say you're lying. I mean, for me not knowing what every day was going to be like to now blowing up, it's been incredible. And apprenticeships have changed my life for the absolute greatest and the best. In the past couple months, I've done so much. I've met the Prime Minister. I've done so much stuff with Quality Scotland, craft skills, and all these speeches. And it's kind of showing me is like no matter kind of what you put your imagination to, you can achieve it. You've just got to have hope. And I think that's one thing what I'm trying to do for so much other young kids is that my one goal is to change somebody else's life. So who was in the same position as me, no idea what they wanted to do, feeling like there was no support, there was no education around them, is that they really can go and achieve it.